I've been asking you about translation. What is a translation? I'll share with you this file. Lecture 2. Translation. Okay. Minutes. I'll share. Window. So I'm sharing this file. You see it?
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Good.
doctor.
Translation. Just let me admit your colleagues. Now I have only 62 students. Ladies, I have told you before, please join us early because we don't have much time to practice. So, translation, as you see this word, this term, it is composed of almost, as you see, as if they are 2 syllables, right? It starts with trans. Trans. What is a trans? What does it denote? Zahra, Najm.
Yes, doctor.
Yes. What does it denote? Trans. When I say translation. By the way, ladies, it is either pronounced translation with Z or translation with S, with the sound S. So either you say translation or translation. What does this syllable, trans, denote? Zahra, Najm, you are raising your hand?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, good.
It's a translation mean pass from one language to another, passing from one language to another.
Yes, good. Yes, good, Zahra. I'm talking about only this syllable. Suppose that the word is composed of 2 syllables.
Yes, trans and
Translation.
pass.
Pass, good. What else? Haneen. Just a minute. You are section A and C?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, good. Just let me.
Yes, doctor.
Haneen.
Yes, doctor.
What is the other meaning of trans? When I say translation, suppose that you know nothing about this term, but when you see the syllable, something comes to your mind. What is it?
Yes, doctor. What comes to my mind is just like a prefix meaning.
It is a prefix, and it is not a prefix, it is part of the word itself. But we are supposing, imagining that it is composed of 2 syllables. So what does trans denote? Is there another word for trans?
Maybe it means beyond.
It's good, beyond, but we don't convey meaning with beyond. There is something concerned with the trans. Thank you, Haneen. Good. Who else? Ofran Ali.
Yes, doctor. It can
Yes.
be mean move or come across also.
Move, good. Yes. Move. It's okay. Move, Rania.
Doctor, also moving from language to another language or
It is to
renewable
moving.
the
Yes.
language.
Okay, good. Rusul Laith.
Yes, doctor. We can say it's across or through.
Across, good. Ibrahim,
Doctor, it can be transfer
you
or
are ready?
translated.
Transfer, good. So, ladies, there are certain words which start with the syllable trans. If you don't know nothing, if you know nothing about translation, you have to imagine that there are certain words starting with the syllable trans. For instance, good for you. Transfer, you've said transfer.
Yes, doctor.
What's the meaning of transfer in Arabic?
دكتور نقل.
It is either ينقل, ينتقل. Good. حوراء جاسم.
Yes, doctor, has been equated with synonyms such as render, replace.
I didn't get your point. Sorry. You are talking about trans?
Yes, doctor, translate.
What does it mean?
Replace, render.
Render, replay.
Yes,
It's okay. Yes, render, that means convey. Good. Zahra Hadi.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, Habibti.
Doctor, I think transformation.
Transformation, good. What's the meaning of transformation in Arabic?
دكتور وسائط نقل.
No, you are talking about transportation. Another
yes,
word.
Doctor.
Yes, transportation, transport. The verb is a transport. Let me
yes,
write
doctor.
it to you.
Because the mic
Yes.
is not. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Habibti Zahra. Buraq. A minute, Buraq.
Yes.
Zahra was talking about, she said, transformation, transform. The verb transform. See here, the same syllable. I'll put it in red. Transform. And she said transformation. Then she said, no, it is a transport. Transportation, right? In these both words, we have the same syllable, trans. And I guess Haneen said transfer, right, Haneen?
No, doctor, I said beyond.
Who said transfer?
Doctor, I said transfer.
Good for you.
Yes.
So as you see, ladies, here in these three terms, all of them start with trans, just like in the term translation. Here, this beginning, this prefix, or let's say it's a prefix, although it is not a prefix, it is part of the word itself. This syllable denotes that we are moving, ينتقل, transform, يحول أو يغير, transport, ينقل. In these three terms, we have the same the same syllable, just like in translation. We are moving from one side into another. In a translation, we have the same action. We are doing the same process. We are moving from one language into another. So, Buraq, in general, what is a translation?
Miss, it is a method or a process that can be used to convey meaning from source language into target language, and we have to render the meaning adequately.
Very good. Very good, Buraq. So, Buraq is talking about two languages. As you see, when we talked about transfer, transform, transport, we are moving, نقل, تغيير, انتقال. We are moving from one side into another. In translation, we are moving between two languages. Suppose that we are translating from English into Arabic or vice versa, from Arabic into English. So we are moving from English into Arabic or from Arabic into English. That's why we have the same syllable, trans. Okay? I'll share with you this PowerPoint to explain in detail what is meant by translation. But before that, we have a newcomers today, right? Now we have 75 students. It's good. It's good to start with this number. I'm so pleased to find you, to start my day with your beautiful faces, ladies. So let me see you again. I'll read your names to know you. I have here Rania, Dhilal, Buraq, Amina, آيات محمد, آية إبراهيم, آية عماد, أديان, أماني, آمنة, أسماء, إسراء محسن, آيات خضير, آية رسول, إلاف عصام, إيمان عبد الأئمة, إيمان كريم, بان عباس, بتول حسن آتي, براء خالد, براق, بشرى علاوي, تبارك, تغريد, تيمة, حنين علي, حوراء جاسم, حوراء علي, رانيا, عادل, رسل جبل, رسل ليث, رقية, ريام حسين, ريام فاضل, زهراء عباس, زهراء نجم, زهراء هادي, جاسم, زهراء هادي كاظم, زينب باسم, زينب جعفر, زينب حردان, زينب نوري, زينة نجم, سالي مالك, سجا سعد, سجا صلاح, سورة اسماعيل, سورة قاسم, سورة قتيبة, سما سامي, سهام حسين, شهد علي فراس, شهد علي عبد, شهد علي فراس, شيماء تحرير, صفا سمير, طيبة جبار, طيبة محمد, ضلال, ظافر, عائشة هاشم, عائشة كريم, عذراء علي, عزيزة صالح, غفران علي, غفران فلاح, فاطمة إبراهيم, فاطمة الزهراء كريم, فاطمة حسن, فاطمة رائد, فاطمة صفاء, فاطمة ستار, مسار, منار كنعان, نضال. It's so good to know you, dear students. I'm so pleased to have you in this course. I am Khalida Hamid, your teacher. Inshallah, I'm going to teach you translation for this course. For those who didn't attend our lecture, we'll get something about translation because later on, we won't discuss it because you are going to have a good conception about it. Okay? So in this course, we are going to learn different things about translation. This class is designed for those who want to turn what is in their mind into something that they can hold in hand. Okay? We are going to learn different things about translation, about the job of translators, مترجمين. And we are going to deal with, by the way, we have two types of translation. Either it is oral or written. Let me write it. So we are going to deal either with oral. What's the meaning of oral?
شفوي.
Shafawi, good. Either Shafawi. Here we have Rania Jasim. We have another Rania. Rania Jasim has joined us now. Good morning, Rania. So we have.
Good morning, Doctor.
Habibti. Try to come earlier, Rania. We have.
I'm sorry.
Oral.
We don't have
Yes.
the link.
It's okay. It's okay. We have oral translation and written translation. We have two types of translation. So what's the meaning of written translation? What do we call it in Arabic?
تحريرية أو كتابية.
Very good, very good. So we have two types. It is either شفوية or شفهية or تحريرية. In this course, we are going to deal with written translation. نتعامل ويا الترجمة التحريرية. And with the formal language, we are not concerned with dialects باللهجات or slang language, اللغة العامية أو الشعبية. We are going to deal with formal language. So I'll share with you this PowerPoint. to deal with translation in general. Okay, share. Now, what do you see?
What is it?
Doctor, we see what's a translation.
Good. Just a minute, let me have this. So what is a translation? I'm starting with a very simple and general question. What is a translation? For those who didn't participate, ladies, don't let me call you by names, please. I want you to participate, all of you. By the way, in the previous lecture, I've told your colleagues that there are 2 rules that you have to put in mind when dealing with the translation. I mean, in my course, in my classroom, my class. What are they? Remember, I've told you 2 rules. If you want to join my class, there are 2 rules to put in mind. What are they? Batul Hassan. Batul, you are raising your hand?
Yes, doctor. I want to define translation.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, doctor. We can define translation in a simpler way as the process and method that we can use to convey meaning of the source language into the target language.
Yes, good. I've told you about 2 rules that you have to put in mind to attend my class. What are they? Siham, you have been raising your hand? Siham Hussein.
Yes, doctor. You said don't panic and be
Yes.
cooperative.
Thank you. Yes, good. Bilal, these rules, you remember them?
Yes, doctor. You said
What are they?
don't panic, and
Good.
in addition, that you depends on our thinking,
Participation.
not to read. Yes, our brainstorming.
Yes, good. Brainstorming, good. Zainab, what do you remember about the formal lecture?
Yes, doctor, the same thing. The first one is do not panic, and the second one is to participate with you and be ready to your questions.
Good. Surah, you want to add something?
Yes, doctor. I want to add something for the definition of translation.
Yes. Go ahead.
We in translation just not just translate the word from one language to the target language. We also translate transformation the rules of the target language we are translate to, and we also transformation the thoughts of who is speaking, of someone we translate his speech, or of the text we are read. We all of this we translate to the target language. So
Yes,
not
yes.
just the word. We also
Yes, of course.
what
You
I
are not
mean.
concerned with
We
words,
translate
ladies.
the grammar and we translate the grammar and the information we are want to translate in the target
Yes.
language.
Yes, thank you. Mace, you are raising your hand.
Yes دكتور my name يعني اسمي كان الناس عندي مكتوب فما سجلت اسمي.
Mace Hussein Awed.
Yes, miss.
Okay. You want to ask something?
No, thank you.
No, you are coming to the class, are attending the class for the first time, right?
Yes, doctor.
Yes. So it is a good guest. You are a good guest now. So what do you understand about translation? You are the
Doctor,
first time. This is the first time you come across this new discipline. translation. I guess that someday, one day you have tried, you have practiced translation, you have come across Google Translation. So what can you say about it? What is a translation in your opinion?
Doctor, can I?
A minute, شفت بس عبد القادر something. I didn't see your name. She
Yes,
was
doctor.
raising her.
Me.
Your name?
Asma.
Okay, Asma, good.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, حبيبتي.
It's a mental process to move from one language to another. So we are
Yes.
concerning with the meaning.
Yes, good. Why
Yes.
it is mental? Ladies, we are repeating the same definition from the very beginning. It is a mental process. Why it is a mental? What do you mean a mental? Iman Abdul Amin.
Yes, doctor. Doctor, mental process because it is dependent on our mind.
In what way? How can you explain it? Let me give you an example, a simple example. Here, as you see, what is a translation? This is the PowerPoint. I'll give you a simple example to explain what does it mean, a mental process. We've said from the very beginning that translation is a mental process. A mental, you see? You see
Yes.
what I'm writing, ladies?
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Yes,
doctor.
doctor.
That's good. Let me enlarge it. It is a mental process. By which meaning is transferred from one language. What do we call it, the first one?
Native language?
No.
The
What do we call it?
Source, doctor.
Good. The source language. The source language. And it is abbreviated as what? SL. يختصروها بصيغة ال SL. Okay? Source.
Okay, doctor.
Source language into, so meaning is transferred, ينتقل المعنى from one language, the source language, into
Target language.
the second language, which is called
target language.
the target language, اللغة المستهدفة أو الهدف.
دكتورة اختصارها TL, right?
Which one? Yes, good. It is abbreviated as TL. So later on, when we talk about the SL and the TL, that you have to put in mind that we are talking about the source language and the target language. And as you know, in English, they prefer abbreviation, right? So
Yes.
I'll give you, yeah, so here we say it is a mental process. I'm going to explain what does it mean to say a mental process. Why it is a mental process? Why don't we say it is a mechanical process? Speak. She speaks English very well. So, how to translate this very simple and clear text? As you remember, ladies, we don't say we are dealing with words in isolation. We are dealing with texts, right? A text might be one word, a sentence, a paragraph, a group of paragraphs, a chapter, a novel, a poem, a book, etc. So we are dealing with text. In this text, she speaks English very well. How to translate it? And we have to say that we are going to convey meaning. راح ننقل المعنى, transfer meaning from the source language, which is here, in which language here? It is English, into the target language, which is Arabic. Amani Malik.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Can I translate in English first?
In what way?
That in synonym, I said. I mean,
in
that
what
she
way,
fluent in. I mean, she is fluent
No,
in English.
ladies, in translation, we are not going to explain things. Amani here is explaining. She is adding something.
Okay.
She is trying
So you
to
mean-
explicate what does it mean to she speaks English very well. Okay, Amani, good. You have given us a very good hint. And in translation, we are not supposed to explain the text. Sometimes we have a sort of complicated text or literary text. This is not your job as translators to add something or omit something. Okay, Amani, good. Rania Adil.
Yes, doctor. When I want to move it to another language or the second language, I say هي تتكلم اللغة الإنجليزية بشكل جيد.
A minute. Okay. هي تتكلم.
Very well. جيد جدا أو يعني بطلاقة.
Okay, let's say شكل جيد. This is the first choice. Russell, thank you, Rania. Good. What do you say? Do you have another translation, another rendition? Do you have another suggestion?
No, doctor, because it is too clear يعني.
Is there another suggestion, ladies? Bilal.
Yes, doctor. We can say إنها تتحدث اللغة الإنجليزية بطلاقة.
Okay, good. It's like Ryan, she said it. إنها تتحدث Another suggestion? Now I'll give you another example. We've said that we are dealing with the translation as a mental process. But please don't check Google. Don't Google what I ask you, please. Ladies, look at this example. Speaking of the devil. A minute. I want تغريد عبد حسن. Where is تغريد? Are you with us? تغريد. Where are you, تغريد? رحمة فارس. Rahma Faris. I'll call your names later, ladies. I'll take attendance. If you are not in, you will be absent. Ola Hassan. Where is Ola? Taiba Ibrahim. Where are you, ladies?
Yes, doctor, with you.
Yes, good, Taiba. Good morning.
Morning, doctor. How are you?
حبيبتي. Taiba Ibrahim. Okay, Taiba. Speaking of the devil, we've translated she speaks English very well. Speaks, يتحدث, يتكلم.
Yes.
Here we have speaking of the devil.
الحديث نقدر نقول الحديث أو
Okay.
التحدث.
Okay. Yes, it's okay. The most important thing is to participate. Good.
Yes.
التحدث
عن الشيطان.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, doctor.
طيب إبراهيم حبيبتي. التحدث What else? Another suggestion. Just a minute. Let me call you by names, ladies. I want you to be in. physically, not electronically. Fatima Riyadh, where are you, Fatima? Where is Fatima? Fatima Shihab. Fatima Shihab. Fatima Aboud. Fatima Safa, she is here. Good, Fatima. Yes, what do you say?
Yes, doctor. This expression has two meanings. The literary meaning, which is بالتحدث عن الشيطان أو
Yes,
بالحديث عن الشيطان.
I want the literal one. Good. Thank you, Fatima. No, don't say it. Don't say it. Let's keep it for the end of this example. Just to explain how dangerous translation is. Suppose that we are talking about Burak, for instance. We are talking about Burak. She is a very good student. She is a nice friend. And at that moment, Burak comes in and say hello. We say, speaking of the devil. If you say, نتكلم عن الشيطان, speaking of the devil, and وقد حضرت, do you think that Burak will be happy if we call her a devil? What do you say?
No.
What do you say, Burak?
No, miss. Of course.
Burak.
Doctor, we have in Arabic.
Of course not. Yes. So if we translated literally, حرفيا, it means, Rania, what does it mean literally? التحدث عن الشيطان.
التحدث عن الشيطان.
Or تكلم عن الشيطان. But the adequate meaning, the real meaning of this expression is a proverb. What is it, Surah?
It's
No, doctor, I want to say the speaking of devil, when we say التحدث عن الشيطان, it will be literary translation.
Literal, not literary.
Literal.
Okay,
So,
Aisha, you are raising your hand.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Doctor, I think when the person we are just talking about you.
Yes. What do we say? How to translate it into Arabic? If we translate it literally,
التحدث عن الشيطان.
By the way, ladies, it is not. اوكي بنات اعطيتكم مثل كانما بدنا نتكلم عن براق ونمدح بها نقول صديقة خبو طالبة ممتازة وبهالاثناء دخلت. Yes, we have been talking about Burak as being a very good friend, and at that moment she comes in and we say, oh, we've been speaking of the devil. If you translate it literally, if we say نتكلم عن الشيطان وقد حضرت براق, is it acceptable? Did we convey meaning? شيماء تحرير.
Yes, mean الحديث عن الشيطان. Can you say
الحديث عن الشيطان.
دكتور can I?
عزيزة.
نعم دكتور.
Yes, good morning عزيزة.
Good morning. دكتور in Arabic mean بنت الحلال بذكرها.
Yes, very good. Ladies, you see here, why translation is a mental process? It is a mental process. It is related to mind. Why? Because when we translate, we are not going to render words. We are not conveying words. Speaking means يتكلم أو يتحدث of the devil عن الشيطان. Here, those who translated as يتكلم عن الشيطان أو يتحدث عن الشيطان did not come across translation as being a mental. They dealt with the translation as a mechanical process. عملية بس مجرد. She replaced words from one language into another. Right? In a translation, you have to look for the deep meaning, the hidden meaning. And you have sometimes to look for the cultural meaning. Each language, each culture has its own meaning for the terms they use. And this expression, speaking of the devil, we say ابن الحلال بذكره أو بنت الحلال بذكرها. صحيح؟ فلما نتكلم عن براق and we say speaking of the devil and براق is here نقول بنت الحلال بذكرها. Is there a difference between the two renditions? The two renditions between نتكلم عن الشيطان وبنت الحلال بذكرها. Is there a difference?
Yes, doctor. Yes,
A huge difference. A huge difference. That's why translation sometimes it is labeled as a very dangerous process. If you don't give the adequate meaning, there might be different problems. So in this course, we are going to deal with first the written translation. We are concerned with written translation only. بالترجمة التحريرية راح يكون شغلنا. We are going to shed some light on the rules of translation. There are certain rules that you have to follow when you translate. For instance, you have to start with a verbal sentence, a verbal clause. تبدأين بجملة فعلية, for instance. Besides, we are going to shed some light on the errors made by translators. Since you are beginners in as beginner translators, they call you novice translators, مبتدئين. So you are novice translators. Novice translators make different mistakes, different errors. In this course, we are going to shed some light on these errors. And by the way, don't be shy of making any kind of error, any kind of mistake. As you know, I've told you in the past lecture that the slogan, shi'ar of this course is mistakes are welcome. If you won't make a mistake, you won't be able to learn anything. So in this course, we are going to deal with different types of errors made by novice translators first, and the way we avoid them, how to avoid them, in what way we can avoid the mistakes of translation. What do you think? By what?
Can I?
Yes, Rania?
By
the way,
not
Rania, by the way, Rania, we don't say can I. We say what? What do we say? A minute, Rania. A minute.
Okay.
What do we say when we ask for something? Do we say can I or what?
May I? May I ask a
May
question?
I? Ola, good. May I? What's the difference between can I and may I, since we are dealing with the translation?
It is more polite.
This is one thing. Rania, what do you think? What do you expect? There's something else. Surah Qasim.
كان I معناها هل أستطيع، لكن may I هل تسمحين لي أو هيك شيء يعني.
Surah, very good. When I say can I, it is related to ability, القوة الجسمانية. يعني أنا أقدر أحكيها، عندي قدرة جسمانية أحكيها. While when you say may I, you are excusing. You have the power, you have the ability, but you are more polite. So, Surah, who was talking? Surah? No. No. Who said about may I, can I, and I interrupted her.
دكتور رانيا جاسم.
Yes, Rania.
Yes,
Where are you,
doctor.
Rania? Yes, good. Where are you,
Yes.
Rania?
I'm here.
You have been talking about what?
Avoiding the mistake in the translation.
Yes, good. Yes, good. I have asked you how to avoid mistakes or translation errors. Yes, Rania.
By avoiding make literary translation.
Good. This is one thing. By avoiding the literal. By the way, ladies, it is not literary. Thank you, Rania, Habibti. Very good. It is not literary. What's the meaning of literary? Most of you say literally mistakes. We have literal in translation. We are going to deal with literal. So,
Doctor, may I?
A minute, let me see. Who is it? Who is it talking? Who is it?
Yes,
Doctor, may I?
I want new volunteers.
Doctor, may I?
Doctor, may I?
زينب جعفر.
Yes, doctor. Literary means حرفيا. يعني that means she translated the words. But literally, it means that she translated the meaning of the words or the.
No, sorry زينب.
May
غفران.
I?
Doctor, we can avoid mistakes by reading a lot.
Yes, good. This is one thing. Russell, about the difference
Yes.
between literary and
Literary
literal.
and literal. Yes, literary معناها أدبي.
Good.
Literal حرفي.
Good.
So there's a
Ladies,
difference.
you have to differentiate between these two terms. Zainab, Habibti, Zainab Jafar.
Yes.
Literary is related to literature, adab, right?
Right,
while literal is concerned with حرفي, المعنى الحرفي. Just like speak and speaking of the devil. Never to forget this example. This example shows you the core, the content of translation. In the translation, we are not concerned with words in isolation. We are not replacing words. Ladies, تذكروا هذا المثال وشوفوا خطورة الترجمة. احنا شغلنا ما له علاقة بالكلمات. صحيح؟ شفتوا المثال هذا كان سبب لنا مشكلة ويا براق. تطلع من الصف وتزعل علينا وتسوي علينا قوامة. ممكن لو ما ممكن؟
No, miss, it's okay. I'm really happy because I really get benefit from you.
So in a translation, we are not concerned with words. So you have to differentiate between a literal translation and we'll take different types of translation. Inshallah, in the coming lectures, we are going to deal with so many methods of translation. Is it understood now why it is